Welcome back, everybody. Part 3 of the wave analysis series. If you haven't seen part 1 or 2, go ahead and check the description below. I left the links in there for you. Part 3, we're going to just build on the ideas that we've already covered, except now we're going to go into patterns. And the first pattern we're going to cover is the diagonal. There are two types of diagonals we're going to look for. One is the leading diagonal, and the second is the ending diagonal. There is a few slight differences between the two, and that's what we're going to cover here in this video. So the first pattern we'll cover is the ending diagonal. This usually happens in the fifth wave, and you can see these green lines that I drew are kind of to give us a better idea of the look. It takes on like this wedge shape or a triangle shape. And what happens here is, our five-wave structure, we have the first leg, first wave come up, second retrace, and then our third is just an impulse that goes really high, really quick. So this usually causes, that fifth wave ending diagonal to kind of form. So what can we look for inside of this diagonal to confirm it is the wave structure inside. So if we take a look, and we'll just zoom in on the 4 to 5 wave here. So we will have the familiar 5 wave inside. Let me just change this color here. And let's go with this so we can see it. Except in this case, the wave 4 is going to come back into, this wave 1 territory area, right? So it's not really a typical 5-wave Elliott structure where wave 3 is the greater wave. Wave 4 doesn't come back into the price territory of wave 1. And then this 5-wave structure inside is made of 3 waves each. So what do I mean there? Since I can't really draw 3, I'm just going to do it with the marker here. But we have 1, 2, 3 to make this first wave. And then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? So everything is 3, 3, 3 inside of here. And then we can expect after the fifth wave completes here, that's a different color, but this to kind of retrace and continue downwards to make, again, our greater degree wave here, which would be 1, 2, right? And then 3, 4, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so let me make that a little bit clearer for you guys. Again, the wedge, right? The diagonal, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 is going to be like this: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, down, right? And then that gives us this pattern here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which completes, our fifth wave up here. So hopefully that's a little bit more clear as to what we're kind of looking for inside there. So the time frames, the multiple time frame analysis does help in this case because, if you can't get a well-defined 3 count maybe on the 1 hour, then you can kind of zoom into the 30-minute or 15-minute to see, how many waves are in there. Again, these are guidelines. It doesn't necessarily have to follow exactly, this 3-3 pattern at the ending diagonal. You'll probably find other examples where it doesn't. But this is just the general guideline and kind of thing you want to look for inside of that fifth wave, right? So this would coincide with like the fifth wave truncation that I was talking about earlier. Maybe the leading diagonal here is the end of the fifth wave, which would be our larger degree 5 wave here, right? So we have 1, 2 here, and then 3. Maybe it breaks this whole structure and continues a 5 wave up. So it's tough to say right now, but that's why it's important to let these patterns develop and see where they go from there. But the basis of wave analysis is understanding all the patterns and knowing all the patterns and when they form, where they form, how they form, and that'll make your forecasting just 100% better. So from there, we're going to go into the leading diagonal, which is kind of the same thing. So let me go ahead and clean this chart up. And also this same pattern here applies to the bear market. You just want to flip it over. So let me just go ahead and draw that real quick. For the bear market, you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, right? And then it's just going to be this wedge shape here. Kind of works like this, right? And then it's going to bounce around, and then when it breaks on the fifth, it'll go to the sky, hopefully. So now let's take a look at the leading diagonal, which usually occurs in the first wave or the A wave of our ABC correction. Remember, all these patterns, you need to have some kind of context of where you are at in the overall larger degree. And that's kind of going to give you a much better idea of what could develop here and what structure is kind of happening. So if we look at wave 1, we can just zoom in and just pretend that this is our full wave 1. Let's not worry about these for right now. So now what kind of structure are we going to expect in wave 1? We're still going to have this kind of wedge pattern, this leading, this diagonal triangle, whatever you want to call it. But instead of it taking the form of 3-5 waves, remember 3-3-3 is our ending diagonal, this takes our regular 5-3-5 pattern. And just extends it to 5 waves, right? So if we have this, let me draw that in. Let's kind of make it semi big here for everybody. I can't really see the numbers, can you? Okay, so we use this. Good enough. Okay, now we have this 5-wave structure in here, and inside is more 5 waves, right? For our impulses. So we'll just leave those blue. We have 5 in there. And then we also have 5 in here. Right? And then our retraces are our standard, 3 or ABC pattern, whatever you want to call it, versus ABC down to there. Can make that pink. And then ABC as well. So it is a little dirty. It's a little messy. But remember, leading diagonal is 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, and then our ending diagonal is all just 3s, right? So slightly confusing. There is some subtle differences there to pay attention to, but just go back in the charts, just like every other lesson. Go back in the charts, recount, start looking at everything. Take a look at all the 5 waves you counted. Is there maybe some kind of ending diagonal there that you actually found, or what's going on there? That's the best way to learn. I kind of reiterate that every time. I mean, you have to put in the study hours to really understand all these ideas. You can't just watch somebody like me talk about it and show you all these examples. You have to go do it, and you have to put in the hours. So again, if you have any questions, go ahead, stop at the Discord. I'm really active in there usually because I can be on my phone, I can be on the computer, and always answering questions and trying to be active there. So if there's any questions with what we've covered so far, stop in, let me know, leave me a message down below. The next videos, we're going to cover some more patterns to look out for, and just keep adding and adding and adding to your knowledge. So I'll see you guys soon. Later.